experience leading sales and business development across some of the most innovative drone and aerospace companies out there. Currently, he's the director of sales at Vantage Robotics. He's helping drive adoption of cutting-edge American-made drone technologies in defense and public safety. Beyond the tech world, he's also passionate about mentorship and community, serves on boards like Big Brother, Big Sister, and Lifeline Children's Services. He's here to share lessons on leadership, growth, and building high-impact relationships. Please welcome me and joining Vladimir to the Seven Eagle. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm super excited to have you. You seem super excited to be here. So
Yeah, this is great. I really appreciate the platform that you have created to really help individuals coming out of the armed forces and just helping them transition into their careers here. I mean, this is a big deal. So I really appreciate you having me today.
yeah, of course. Can you just kind of tell me, introduce yourself to everybody, tell everybody kind of what makes you so passionate about coming out and talking to everybody?
Yeah, I um so I live in Arkansas. I do drone sales. I love what I do, and a reason I'm passionate about what's happening here today is in my family, especially on the Russian side of my family. My grandfather served in the military, and that helped actually pay off his medical school debt, which allowed him to progress in a career that he really loved. And he needed help doing that. It normally takes a village. It's not something that people can't get through life on their own. So, and that's also what led me to be passionate about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and Lifeline Children's Services, serving on the boards for those organizations because I'm also adopted out of Russia. So, I really believe that every child deserves a chance at a beautiful existence. And then, in that same breath, so does every adult. I don't feel like anyone is above anyone else, and we all deserve equal opportunities and the chance to do something great. So when I heard about the opportunity to speak here today, I jumped on it. I can't even express enough what it means to me to see people helping each other. It's really important, and I think it's a fundamental thing that needs to continue in leadership. Help other people, help children, help anyone you can, and don't do it with any benefit to yourself. Just help with your heart and do that consistently throughout your life. It will pay dividends for you. I promise you that.
Yeah, awesome. I was gonna end with that, but I would love to start with the nonprofits that you work for. So I know you started the Big Brothers Big Sisters. Can you kind of tell everybody a little more in depth what you do with that and what led you to doing all this mentorship?
Yeah, it's actually so I have an older friend of mine. His name is Tim Cavell. He's a therapist here in the area, does a lot of amazing work for children. He had me over to a birthday party of his years ago. And at that birthday party, I met the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Throughout the evening, we talked about what the organization does. And at the end of the evening, I decided that I'm gonna find a way to work with these guys, and I'm gonna make it happen. I was recently elected to as a founding member of the Ambassadors Council at Big Brothers Big Sisters, which we essentially lead initiatives in our region to establish better programs and ways that children can gain access to mentorship. And it's something that we are going to continue to build on. We recently were able to get enough funding to where we are now not just in Northwest Arkansas, but that has allowed us to open up a division in Fort Smith, which is in another part of Arkansas, allowing us to serve more of the state. Really important because obviously we have people that need help everywhere. And continuing to grow the organization through the Ambassadors Council is something that's really a full circle moment for me. Getting to come on, do something like this, and help children that need mentorship the same way that I needed it whenever I was younger, I think is really important. I need to continue to do that. And through the Ambassadors Council, it's going to allow me to actually have real pull to establish new initiatives and just help kids across the state. So I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to doing more over the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It looks like you guys are doing a lot over there. And it's so great that you came from an adoptive family and you're bringing that on and helping more and more to that community. Um,
Absolutely.
what do you think is the best piece of advice that one of your mentors in that community has given you?
Well, that's really hard to pick one, but you know, A really, really good piece of advice I learned. I heard someone earlier in the call talking about you can't have too high of expectations for a salary or things of that nature when you're jumping right into it, right? I'm extremely driven. So whenever I was younger, I expected to be making a certain amount whenever I was 20 years old. And I didn't necessarily have the experience, but I thought I deserved that, right? Not realistic. Something one of my mentors told me is, learn to enjoy the journey. And whatever you're doing, just take a step back and like smell the roses. Our life is an amazing thing, and going through these experiences is really important because they ultimately lead you to where you are today. The person you are right now is accumulation of all of your experiences, things that you've gone through, the people you've been around. Our What someone just said, our lives are really short. I mean, it's incredible to me how I think so much of the time we get so sucked into social media, the news, TV, whatever it may be. It makes you think that you're falling behind when the reality is you're right where you're meant to be, and be ready for the amazing things that are coming next. It's truly one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten, because I try to push so heavily forward every single day, and I need to remember to take a step back and just appreciate where I am and appreciate those around me. And that is probably that's top three pieces of advice I've got.
No, that's amazing. I am, along with all of these guys, transitioning out of the military right now, and I think that's huge because we're all kind of in a panic, honestly. People can comment if you're feeling the same thing, but you ended this piece in your life, and now we're just trying to jump into the next piece. We're not really taking this time to kind of sit where we're at. So that's
Yeah.
really nice for this group of guys.
And I would like to point out another thing. My upbringing and the way that I did things was not traditional. Whenever I graduated high school, I had a great path through college. I could have done it, but guess what I ended up doing? I dropped out and I helped one of my buddies start a drone company because that's what I believed in. At the time, I was making no money at the very beginning. And so it really seemed absolutely crazy for me to do something like that, because also at the time, my father owns a business. He gave me an offer letter to jump on with him and give me a decent job. I declined that offer letter, chose to build my own path, stuck with the drones, made crap money for a long time. But now I I couldn't be more thankful for where I am. Trust the process. It really is such a simple phrase, three words, but trusting the process is a huge deal. Like, I would not want to be the director of sales at this company right now 6 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
and if you're not ready for it, it'll punch you in the face and it'll spit you back out, and then you're going to be in a position thinking what went wrong, when the reality is you were put in a position that you really weren't going to succeed. Sometimes things are too much and you just aren't ready for it. It's good to take the necessary steps to learn all those things that make you great at that higher level position. A man here in Northwest Arkansas that's the CEO of Walmart, he started as one of the lowest positions at the company when he first joined. He he started as I think it was a clerk or someone that was just checking people out at the store. Now that man runs the entire company, and it helps him be very, very precise and strategically strong because he understands the problems that the people that are doing those jobs face. So he can help fix it just because he's done it. And that's what's helped me a lot. Just my growth, learning from the people around me, trusting the mentorship that's been presented to me. And I have been so lucky to have people like that around me that have helped me grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though you are inherently a part of the military community, that advice I really think helps everyone here so much in all different ways. That kind of leads me to my next question as well. I was wondering what advice you would have for our guys transitioning out of the military. A lot of them are going to go into careers that they have never done before. Maybe they translate a little bit from what they did at the military, but from a lot of what you were saying is you needed confidence in yourself to kind of get where you were and believe in yourself to do something. So, what advice would you give them to build that confidence going into something that they've never done?
The first piece of advice is I would say establish direction and a plan. Whenever I jumped into drones, everyone thought I was crazy, including my father, who had just given me this opportunity at his company that was doing well. Why wouldn't I do something like that? Well, the reality of the situation is I decided to go all in. I learned everything I possibly could, kept learning, connected with the right people, and created a plan for what I really wanted to do 5 to 10 years from now. Figure out what you want to do, pick a field that you are genuinely interested in. You have to believe in what you're doing to be truly successful. Because let's be real, I'm sure there's some of you that have shown up to what your job or whatever it may be, and you're like, screw this. This is terrible. I never want to do this again. That attitude will burn you out. And it's also just going to impact your productivity every single day. You want to wake up and want to kill it. You have to have that drive because there's someone that is in that same position as you that might want it even more. Wanting something more than you want to breathe is going to push you to places that you never thought you could get to.
Mm-hmm.
Establish a plan and execute on it. Don't just go into something blind. Never do that. Make sure that you establish what you want to do, establish a plan, execute on it every single day. And remember, you are where you are because of your actions. If you work hard and really put your foot down every day, do not waste a single minute and focus on your dreams, you will accomplish what you want to.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I really appreciate that. Looking back on in your career, in the 13 years that you've been in the drone industry now, you've gone into more of a leadership role. Where was that turning point for you, where you kind of went from doing something to taking on more leadership?
I think it came at a time that I felt like I was mentally ready to lead people. I wasn't ready when I was younger. I had a lot to learn. I had a lot of things to iron out within myself. I think to lead people, you need to understand certain things. They are the most important thing that you will deal with every single day. These are other people with lives, other people with children, other people that have their own problems. And they have things that might be extremely difficult that they're going through that you might know nothing about. So you have to be ready to be empathetic. You have to learn to be truly respectful. Just love the people around you and invest in them. And until you're ready to do that, you aren't ready to lead. Because when you're a leader, it's not about you. It's about everybody else. I'm not, this isn't about me. It's about everybody else. And as long as I continue to take care of those people around me, the things around us are going to inherently get better every single day. And there's nothing that you can do to do that quickly. Respect and trust are built over time. You have to be, someone just said servant leadership. That is a fundamental thing I believe in more than anything else. The reason I serve on the boards that I do, I get zero money for those positions. I invest all that time because it's something I believe in. I didn't just pick any random board. I picked those because those things touch me and make me believe that there's still a lot of good in this world and a lot of people that need to step up and make sure that those things are executed on. There's just so much that needs to be done. And as a leader, you have to remember that.
Yeah. Wow. This is going so different than I thought it would. I love everything you're giving, Vladimir. There's so many good knowledge that you're dropping and advice. It looks like we have a question. Shake one. What's up?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
I think the whole chat is feeling it right now. We just sitting back and listening. Yo, confidence, everything that you exude, like we are truly enjoying you speak today. I don't even necessarily have a question. I just wanted to give you your flowers because right now you are killing it, and we're just sitting back and we're just enjoying it. The reason why there's not a bunch of questions coming up is because you're answering all of our questions spiritually and deeply. We truly appreciate you coming out and speaking to us. Like, we literally, like, thank you so much.
Dude, I appreciate that. Like, that means a lot to me, because I was actually talking to my better half this morning, and I told her, I just want to make sure this actually helps somebody. I want to make sure that I'm not just getting on and talking. I want to make sure this actually helps somebody. So I'm really happy to hear that, man. Thank you.
That's what we're all about, just dropping that knowledge that they need to hear. Going in a little bit towards the more what you do now in the sales environment. What do you think makes a good salesperson? What are some qualities or some traits?
So I think the key things for people that I would have on my team: truthful. When we have a lot of drones that are competing with us in the market right now. The thing that has helped us over the years is you sell the product for exactly what it can do. Do not sell smoke and mirrors to people in the military and public safety. Something that has been traditionally fundamental in those spaces. They have been underserved in the technology space for as long as I can freaking remember. People come in, sell them BS, they buy it, and then they're stuck with equipment that sucks, that doesn't do anything for them. If you build a relationship with these men and women and help them actually get to a point where the technology is operationally successful, that's how you're going to succeed. So a lot of the police departments I work with, I've been working with them for 15 years, nonstop, from the moment I met them, because of the way I handle myself. If they ask me a question, can your drone do this? And I really don't think they'd be successful using it for that, I will automatically say, no, that's not something we're going to pursue. And if I do, it's because I actually think that there is a possible way to execute on it. There's a possible way to make it happen. That's how you build relationships in the sales space, not by selling crap, not by one-off sales. You can think that'll work, but it won't. Life is about relationships. The ones that I have with my family, the ones that I have with my friends, the ones that I have through work. It's all people. That's what we keep getting back to. People. Treat them correctly, and you will succeed. It's just all about, think about if you lie to someone in your family. Well, chances are that relationship moving forward isn't going to be going pretty well, because they're not going to believe a dang thing out of your mouth. So the reality is being truthful to your customers. I think we have a question.
Yep. Go ahead, Israel.
Yes, I have more of a business question. Have you found it difficult to separate yourself from the market? Since I know right now a lot of what's being used in Ukraine, Russia, as well as I see being used as well in the Mexican cartel, is the DJI drones. Is it difficult breaking into those markets just because I know the DJI drones, they're pretty cheap and they're pretty easy to modify? Or like, what do you guys do to differentiate yourselves?
Well, there's a huge thing going on in America right now where DJI is probably going to be outlawed. There are just a lot of security and privacy concerns with Chinese technology in the United States. I will say their drones are amazing. I've used them quite a few times. They make amazing equipment. But we are at a point in this country's history where we need to invest in our own infrastructure, manufacturing, and companies that are on our soil. Why are we not investing money in American companies that are serving people that served this country? So there are things that now are fundamentally happening, that the NDAA Act, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which is in place. We make drones that comply with all those standards. And we are also blue UAS and green UAS listed, essentially removing red tape from us to go into these departments. And with our connections, we're able to go in and say, hey, I've been doing demos all across the country these past 3-4 months. I've been to like 13 different states in the last 2 months. And one thing that happens is when we show up to these departments, most states give them some insight into where they're going to have to switch with them being outlawed. Like in Florida, it's already happened. You can't use DJI in Florida anymore. Same in Texas. Getting close to being the same thing in Arkansas. And this is happening all across the country, which is opening doors for American companies to get buy-in from these departments to help us grow with them. The faster you adopt technology, the faster you are to learn, the faster you are to learn what doesn't work and what you need to improve on. allowing you to really create an in-depth drone program that is actually, excellent. Something that gives you, great data, great results. And from my personal experience, drones need to be used in public safety. I've seen a drone save multiple lives. We had children go missing and couldn't find them, but when we put a drone up that had a really high def thermal camera on it, pointed that camera down nadir, and then set a flight plan over 4 square miles, we found the person in 5 minutes that 40 police officers couldn't find on the ground. And it's just something where, now that I've seen it actually save lives, because this is also in the middle of the winter, you don't find a child overnight, chances are they're going to freeze to death, especially if it's under 32 degrees outside. And here in Arkansas in the winter, it gets pretty cold. And I think that breaking into to finish that question, breaking into these, verticals is not going to be difficult once we have people fundamentally understand that the earlier they adopt American technology and help us grow, because we actually pay our people here a livable salary and have things that we have to abide by, like laws that treat people correctly in the workplace. And China doesn't have to do that. That's why they've been able to create a product, because they can hire 20 engineers for the cost of one here. And I sure as hell am not going to be paying an engineer a salary that can't cover him and his family. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that was a great sales pitch. Yeah, right now I work in readiness and emergency management. Even during some of our meetings when we go over threats to the base, they specifically state that no DJI drones can be used on base or near the surrounding area. And I know some of our Polizei forces, they're also adopting the same sentiments as to banning DJI as a whole from Germany. So cool.
It will happen soon, brother. Either 2026 or 2027, it's going to be across the board.
Nice. All right, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir. I see we have a couple other questions.
Yep, Timothy, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to come speak with us today. My question is for your company. You're in Arkansas. It looks like, just from the little bit of looking that I did, that the company is headed out of California. So, how widespread is your company, and where are some of the hubs, or is it depending on the work, you're able to either travel or do it remotely?
Yeah, so I'm completely remote. When I was hired, it's one of the things that I tell the people hiring me, that my family is where I am, and I'm not moving. So our company is out of San Leandro, California. The company manufacturing is there. That's where all our engineers are. Both of our co-founders live in the area there, and they created that whole manufacturing hub in California, and that's where we make the drones. Our sales team is remote. I'm here in Arkansas, and then we have people all across the country that we manage to do these sales. And then we have 4 main verticals: military, public safety, business to business, and inspection. And through that, we're able to keep our sales team remote. And we also like that because it's easier for us to reach our customers. I have an airport very close to me here in Northwest Arkansas that if I do need to go see somebody, I can fly out very quick, be there. Like today, we had our team in Nashville. We were working with Nashville Fire today and working in the South a little bit, just meeting customers, doing demonstrations and closing deals. And it makes it easier for me actually to be remote, because when I work, I have complete silence in the house. I think being in an office, because of how extroverted I am, would actually be detrimental to my productivity. So being in an office like this, where I just have my dogs and they just chill during the day, makes it really easy. So it's actually been, the structure that we currently have has been very advantageous.
Thanks. One follow-up for that. So for your sales team, they're mostly working remotely. But what's the work-life balance as far as how many days on the road compared to how many days at home on average?
Well, I think my work-life balance is pretty great. I do travel a good bit, but whenever I took this position, me and the lady talked about it, and we both understood the expectations of this role. And another thing you have to remember is, once you get to a level where you are a leader and you are getting paid a certain amount, You just have to make it happen. And there are healthy ways to go about it. I do not work 90 hours a week. There are some nights where I will take phone calls, but we keep it here. Me, the lady is also very successful in her own right. She gets up, goes to her position, and we both understand that our careers are important. It's also very important to our personal growth. So, as far as my mind and how I think about it, I knew what the role was going to be going in. I knew the expectation, and I think that once you have that established in your brain, you know it's going to be much easier to do it every day, because I'm never on the road going, gosh, this sucks. I mean, the reality is I get paid commission and I have a great work-life balance. I have benefits. I can support my home. And what more could a man ask for? That's the way I see it.
Sweet, thanks.
All right, Jordan, go ahead.
Hey, Vladimir. First of all, thank you very much for coming here today and giving us some insight into what you're doing within the drone community.
Yes, sir.
I'm a retired U.S. Marine, and I spent almost 23 years of my career in aviation maintenance. So I'm actually looking to try to pivot into getting more into the UAS community. Do you have any recommendations for someone like me that is kind of looking to go from working on actual manned aircraft into drone aircraft? And then in conjunction with that, I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary here. Would you entertain potentially talking to me offline at some other time at your convenience that we could discuss this a little bit more?
100% I would, man. My head of training at Vantage Robotics is ex-Air Force, and he was an Air Force technician just like you were. And he did that for about 25 years. His name's Trent Rundell. And he's amazing, dude. He really is. He's an amazing guy. I talk to him almost every single day. So I would be more than happy to put I think we have job openings on our LinkedIn page for a senior manufacturing technician. You might want to look into that.
Okay.
There is. I looked at that.
Yeah, what was the next question? I apologize. I did not hear
it. Ricky?
Hey, good morning, Vladimir. Again,
Hey, Ricky.
I'm going to echo what Saquon said. We are just so happy for you to be on this call with us. There's so many great pieces and tidbits that you've given us. My question is a very broad question, but I feel like it will get you going. You seem to be an amazing salesperson who gets out there a lot, and I wanted to hear what sales has done in your life and how it's changed you.
Man, so let's also remember everybody is different. I love being around people. I love talking to people. I'm very extroverted. It's just how I am. I could try to tell someone I'm an introvert and they would know that that's just not the case. So I think ultimately it is very, very key to understand who you are. Sitting down and being able to write down what are the top 10 important things to me, and then go from there. Influencing people is one of mine. So sales is a huge part of that, because you need to build trust and you have to build good relationships. And in sales, it's allowed me to really flourish. When you are in the position you're meant to be in, it won't feel like work. And this is kind of back to that question with the work-life balance. I really love what I do. I really love seeing police officers use our technology to help save their lives and save other people's lives. Heck, we make a drone that has a shrouded rotor set, so it just has these cages on the blade so we can just fly our drones inside. We have videos where we've actually used them to de-escalate live shooter situations instead of having to send an officer in, therefore not allowing an officer to get shot at, de-escalating the situation, getting to speak to the person through a speaker on the drone, and then allowing them to just make the decision to disarm themselves and come out and end peacefully. These things are amazing. And then we have the military using them and helping individuals overseas that, need good equipment. And it's all, this all ties in very heavily to each other, but I believe in what I do. I love what I do. And every day I wake up, I really, really do not think that I'm working most of the time. I really just feel like I'm doing what I love to do. I just happen to get paid for it. That's pretty sweet. And I would highly recommend that to everybody. If you love something, I don't care what it is, try and find a way to monetize that. Like, because ultimately it will benefit you a lot. Like for me, I remember hearing someone at a conference say, I'm always going to keep my hobbies, and my work, my work. And then after the conference, I walked up to him and I was like, why not monetize your hobbies? And he was like, oh, I'll never do that because I love him too much. And then I asked him about his job, and he hated his job. It just made him enough money that he could support his family. So I just really don't understand why people wouldn't want to do what they love and make money off of it. It's pretty sweet. And yeah, it's for me, it's just let me flourish. To answer that question, it's led me to flourish, really, really dive into who I'm meant to be, and help the people around me achieve greater heights. Because I'm good at sales, I can help the people around me get any better, and then they can help support their families, and that will compound over the years, and eventually will help, hopefully thousands of people.
That's such a good message to spread to this group because,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, because there's so many veterans out there that we get out and we take the first position. We say it so much, we talk about it all the time, that we take the first position that we get offered because we're worried that we're not going to get another one. We undervalue ourselves. We don't realize how many skills that we have that could pertain to so many different places. So they take the first job they get offered and they aren't happy in it. So that is such a good message to spread.
Let me also say this. Not everyone is always privileged with the ability to wait for a second offer. Let me just make that very clear too. When I was younger, and if you're supporting yourself and you have bills and those bills start stacking up, it's pretty hard to not take that first offer.
Mm-hmm.
So another piece of advice I'm going to throw in here, the best time to look for your dream job is when you have a job. And if you don't necessarily like it, remember that this isn't the end all be all. Sometimes you might have to take a position just to bring money in to support your family. I completely understand that. I really do. If you have to do that, just remember that your next step once you're in that position is to transition your focus to finding that better position that's going to actually fulfill you. Try and do that, because I've been in that boat. There's times where you need money coming in. And if you have a family, then you kind of have to take it. And I would just tell people, if you're in that position, just never stop searching if you aren't fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. What can you, the drone world is such a growing field right now. I stress it every time I come on here and present about the SUAS community. What's an experience that these guys could come in with that they might not know that they already have that pertains to coming into the SUAS world?
Well, if you're an ex-military member, that's exactly who we sell to. We sell drones for ISR, which is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, and that's exactly what a lot of the individuals over there are doing. So if you already have the mindset and you were in the military and you have gone through, say you were deployed over there and there were things that you were having to do every single day, the reality is you already know what we're trying to know. We want to know how we can apply the drones to what you were doing. How can we make it safer for you? Are you using helicopters? Are you using some other sort of aviation, or we could really decrease that cost and make it 10x more portable, and something that, we make a drone at Vantage that's 150 grams with the battery on it, and it has a 48 megapixel camera with a 640 thermal camera on it, and it can fly for almost 40 minutes, and you can barely see that thing. Like, it's wild, and so using something like that, if you are trying to locate an enemy, is huge, because then you don't have to use larger aircraft, whether that be large planes or helicopters, whatever it may be. Now you can use drones. You can use drones to surveil the area. And also, the best thing about them, they're unmanned. You are not risking a life flying a drone into an area. I mean, you see it in Ukraine right now. I have friends over there, sadly, that, losing their lives, but some of the videos I see, it is insane. There was a couple guys in the back of a truck in Ukraine. They're driving down the road, military. They're clearly a war zone. And then you just see in the top right corner of the screen this drone going like 100 miles an hour straight at their truck, and it has massive bombs on it. Luckily, one of the officers gets a gun out and is able to hit it with some buckshot before it's getting close enough, and it veers probably 20 feet to the right and blows up a tree. That's the kind of warfare that we're into now. And so, as of someone that has served, you already see these things. And that goes for public safety as well. The things that I've been explaining, how officers, if you're looking for someone that's missing, I can just open up the back of my car. I can set up a TV back there, have the power hooked up to the inverter, and then I can actually stream what's happening from my drone remote to that TV. So it's much larger screen. You can see everything I'm seeing. So if I'm flying and just flying a grid route, then we can have someone else literally looking at that screen and saying, I just saw an outline of a person. And the thermal is so good, it literally can make a perfect outline. It's not like a blur anymore. Like these thermal cameras now, I can be flying to the point where you don't even know I'm up there and I can be watching you. And that's why it just makes it easy to find people. You know, it's really easy to make out. So it's really easy to tell the difference between animals and people because it's not just heat blobs. There's actually serious definition. And, you know, it's just about applying it. And if you worked in agriculture, inspection, I was just with Arkansas Department of Transportation last week inspecting one of our new bridges with the drone. Seeing those cracks that they can't get up into that are 30 feet up and in crevices, or we can fly the drone in, aim the camera forward, and actually see what those joints look like. Really a lot of ways to apply drone technology to different things. I don't think I've seen something that I haven't been able to apply drones to yet. I mean, I also worked on the drone delivery team with Walmart for a few years and just helped establish drone delivery here in Arkansas, getting products to customers that couldn't necessarily get them. And then we partnered with clinics to deliver organs and blood over drones and making it 10 times faster because we also had a loss rate. I think the percentages changed, but I remember seeing, we were working with a health institution and they told us the loss rate on organs because of transportation failures is like 40%. That's insane. We are losing people's good organs that are donating them because we don't have an established process to transport them. What the heck is going on? You know, it's wild, man. People are dying. We need to figure these processes out. And so drones have allowed those things to really elevate and get to a point where we are now helping save lives, helping ensure more safety or safer situations. And then there's something that's happening right now in the world called DFR, drones as a first responder. Call goes out, the call goes to the drone reacts to it, launches from a dock automatically, and then you have eyes on the scene within 30 to 60 seconds. And there are just so many applications for it and ways that you can use drones. And all you really got to do is just think of a way you could apply it, and there's a good chance you can.
100%. I don't think a lot of people realize how many things you can use them for. They think of warfare, and that's all that drones can do. But you could, like you said, you can really use them for anything. So anybody with any experience could probably spin it in a way to where they have experience doing something with drones.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Israel, you have another question?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I believe Israel.
Yes. Yeah. Are your drones strictly wireless or are they also options for fiber optic?
No fiber optics right now. I have seen a lot of that in Ukraine, but right now we make them to where it's just connection. No fiber optics on our end right now.
Okay. Do you see any future in that, as that looks like the way to move forward?
Well, you know, I would question that because ultimately we are going to need drones that can be flown without fiber optics. Think about how much waste that creates, and the war has made it to where that's necessary because there's so much jamming. You know, the work that we've done over there, that I've done, sometimes the drones can't even fly. Like they jam your signals so strongly that there's just absolutely zero chance you're flying things in there unless you just have like a kind of system I haven't seen before. And so ultimately it just turns into these fiber optic drones that the way they're connected is through that line. And some of the lines that they're creating are 10 kilometers long for a fiber optic drone. It's not like 100 feet. These are 10-kilometer long fiber optic lines. And I saw a video over a battlefield in Ukraine actually recently. I wish I had saved it, but they were flying a drone over this massive battlefield, and you just see thousands of these fiber optic cables over the land. Who the heck is gonna pick that up? I don't know, but it's completely trashed that area. Could you imagine if the United States had areas like that? That would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, as a homestead option, I don't think that'd be good, but probably from an offensive move.
Yes. If we're trying to win a war, sure. But right now, I just hope Ukraine wins. Even though I am a Russian man, two of my family members have been killed because of this stupid war, and yeah, I can't stand it. I really can't stand it, and I can't stand the man that is in charge of Russia and the things that he believes. I just can't get behind it.
Yeah. Robert? Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
okay.
Did you see any future in like submersible type drones?
Oh yeah,
Water
there's quite a few companies in that space right now that are making drones that sail drone. I mean, heck, I think Anduril just made a new missile that is for the water, and it's pretty crazy. That space is also blowing up heavily just because there are a lot of applications for it, especially offshore wind. So that's something that's huge. There are a lot of these massive conglomerates that have offshore wind farms that are literally in the middle of the ocean. You can't even see them. And they need to be inspected. Normally, drones can get there, but because of precipitation and the factors that come with flying in those areas, sometimes it's not as successful, especially for the stability you need. So having those drones that can operate in water is very advantageous for companies, and it's another market that's starting to expand. Drones in every sector are starting to expand. Water, land for UGVs, unmanned ground vehicles, and then UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. It's sky, land, water. It's all evolving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
as long as nobody else has questions, I just have one last question for you, Vladimir. You've given us so much good advice and knowledge today. I would like one last thing, the ultimate advice that you have to give all of these guys.
The last thing that I would say is it's always darkest before dawn. If you think that you're in a spot and there's no way out and things won't change, just change your belief. It is always darkest before dawn, and you will get it. You will get that position you've been wanting. You will achieve what you want to achieve. Just have some faith. Have a little bit of faith. That's all I'd have to say, because I've been in that same position and trusted the process, had a little faith. Pretty sunny now. So just keep churning, guys.
Thank you so much, Vladimir. You killed it today. I know I appreciate it. I have all the reacts in the chat. I can see everyone else appreciated it. We loved having you on. Thank you so much.
Hey, I greatly enjoyed this. So I'm actually very thankful to everyone here. Thank you for your great questions. Thank you for listening. This was amazing, and this was an amazing use of my time. I'm very thankful to everybody. I appreciate you all for having me on.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. See you guys.
Later. Bye. All right, everybody, it looks like you are on lunch now, so come back at the usual time. I hope you like all the advice that you got, and